Take a deep, slow breath. Let us let go all the experiences, what we have gone through, keeping the learnings with us. Let us let go the regrets of the past, anxieties of the future, confusions, tensions in the present moment, because this moment we have no problems. All the problems belong to the past and future. Let us focus on our body. Scan the body from head to toe, toe to head. Let us focus on our breath, which is always in the present moment. Let us focus our attention on our mind, which keeps emoting. Emotions keep coming, staying, going. Let us focus on the thoughts. Very important point. What kind of thoughts I am thinking? How many thoughts are coming in our mind? What is the frequency, quality, direction of the thoughts? Let us withdraw the attention from the thoughts and focus on the observer of the thoughts. Who is observing these thoughts? I am observing these thoughts. I am also is a thought. All thoughts emerge from I am thought. When we start focusing on the I am thought, the other thoughts disappear, and that is where the meditation starts happening. So let us chant loudly and invoke God's and Guru's grace so that we get maximum out of this topic, what we are going to reflect upon. That is Pramana Vichar. Oh. 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 Om Sahana Vavatu Sahanau Bhunaktu Sahaviryam Karavavahai Tejasvinavadhitamastu ma vidvishavahai. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti.
अखण्डमण्डलाकारं व्याप्तं येन चराचरं तत्पदं दर्शितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः। अज्ञानतिमिरान्धस्य ज्ञानाञ्जनशलाकया चक्षुरुन्मीलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः। गुरुर्ब्रह्मा गुरुर्विष्णुः गुरुर्देवो महेश्वरः गुरुरेव परं ब्रह्म तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः। स्थावरं जङ्गमं व्याप्तं यत्किञ्चित् सचराचरं तत्पदं दर्शितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः। चिन्मयं व्यापि यत्सर्वं त्रैलोक्यं सचराचरं तत्पदं दर्शितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः। त्वमेव माता च पिता त्वमेव बन्धुश्च सखा त्वमेव विद्या द्रविणं त्वमेव सर्वं मम देवदेव। सदाशिवसमारम्भां शङ्कराचार्यमध्यमाम् अस्मदाचार्यपर्यन्तां वन्दे गुरुपरम्पराम्। श्रुतिस्मृतिपुराणानाम् आलयं करुणालयं नमामि भगवत्पाद शङ्करं लोकशङ्करम्। शङ्करं शङ्कराचार्यं केशवं बादरायणम् सूत्रभाष्यकृतौ वन्दे भगवन्तौ पुनः पुनः। समस्तजनकल्याणे निरतं करुणामयं नमामि चिन्मयं देवं सद्गुरुं ब्रह्मविद्वरम्।
Hari Om Vidya, thank you. So we are doing a topic called as Praman Vichar. As I last time mentioned, there is one book available in Chinmaya Mission, which is in Hindi by Swami Subodhanandji, who was the Acharya of Siddhabadi Ashram, who has conducted a lot of courses, Brahmachari courses there. So those who are interested, they can buy it online. Praman Vichar is a very important topic if somebody wants to study scriptures at an advanced level, Upanishads, Brahma Sutra, or any other technical text. This Praman Vichar helps us because this is a foundation. Also, in our day-to-day life, how it is going to be useful, that also we will see. And how it is going to help us in our ultimate search of seeking the self, and what is the praman for it, what are the valid means for it, where the knowledge happens. So as Swami Advainanji mentions, we have to sit with notebook, make notes and reflect, because these topics are subtle topics. And also if there are any questions, any pointers where we want some clarification, must be discussed immediately, because suppose we think that later on I will ask, then many other topics get covered up. So in the last session, we saw Jnana Mahima, significance of knowledge. What are the pointers we saw? The conclusion called as Siddhanta are very important, because that must become my belief, faith, knowledge system. And we are going to discuss the same now after some time, that how this knowledge systems gets formed. What is the first definition? What we saw, very important definition of knowledge. Sa vidya ya vimuktaye. Knowledge is that which liberates. So what is the conclusion, what we derived from this definition? Knowledge definition is That which liberates us, that which gives us freedom. Liberates us from what? Liberates us from bondages, limitations. So knowledge is opposite of ignorance. Knowledge will remove ignorance. Very important point. Knowledge will not give us realization because we are already having that particular experience and knowledge. So till the ignorance is there, knowledge is required, where the knowledge will destroy the ignorance and then knowledge is not required. So knowledge will liberate us, will give us freedom, and that is what we seek, because liberation and freedom is equal to happiness. Liberation and freedom is equal to success. Very important pointer, because success means what? I have more freedom, financial freedom, I have travel freedom, I can relationship freedom. There are so many freedoms. So wherever there is freedom, there is happiness and success. Wherever there is limitation, there is suffering and failure in any form. So last time we saw relationship limitations, financial limitations, body limitations, age limitations, relationship limitations. In office, suppose I am not growing, then it is a limitation. So any kind of limitation is called as suffering and it leads to failure. So these two definitions are very important to understand the significance of knowledge in any field, in day-to-day life also and in spiritual life also. The next point what we saw was knowledge is equal to power. There are many beings on this planet, but human being is the most powerful because human being is having more knowledge than plants, animals, insects. What insects and animals were doing thousands of years back, they are doing the same thing right now. And because of this knowledge power, human beings are evolving, and now we are creating artificial human being also, AI, which is going to be the next atomic bomb for human beings, because it is going to take away a lot of jobs. It is going to do a lot of mundane things which human beings are doing, and that is going to create a lot of challenges in the further years. But that is the power what a human being has. The next pointer we saw that we must have two knowledges in life. One, knowledge for success and living comfortably. That is our empirical knowledge in this world, and knowledge to be happy. So two knowledges we must seek, and a person who seeks this knowledge lives comfortably, is considered to be successful. And the second kind of knowledge is the knowledge to be happy. This happiness is permanent, unbroken happiness. So there is world where I must transact in the world in such a way that I create success and comfort. And if I want to be happy, then I have to U-turn and look within where the happiness is located. So there are two kinds of knowledges one must have. Then we saw in the last session that my view drives my way. Why this is important? Because what is my view? This is my knowledge only, what I have collected. What is my view? This is my belief system, what I have not challenged yet. What is my view? This is my values. So everyone has a point of view from which one sees outside. Yatha drushti tatha srushti. So our interpretations in life about God, about world, about myself are dependent upon my view about the world, my view about God, and my view about myself. So this is very important in our Shastra, because we are not going to see the different schools of philosophy. But when we read Adi Shankaracharya's Bhashya, he will refute various schools of thought. What are these schools of thought? These are darshanas. What are these darshan? Darshan means views. So we are only going to see in simple way to understand what different views people have. These different views are our knowledge. what we have formed. And this knowledge we have not challenged. And then we are going to get into a topic which is our main topic, that is how this knowledge is formed. How this knowledge formation happens. And this knowledge formation happens through the means of knowledge. That is our main topic, Praman. And that is what we are going to reflect upon. So the topic name is Praman Vichar. So what are the 4 points of view which we normally have, which we can see in our world? Why this is important? Because our transaction will become very easy. Suppose we understand these views. When people start talking, we will understand, oh, this is the point of view the person is holding. So what is the first view? The first view is called as Paristhiti or Bhautik Vadis. In our Shastra, they are called Vadis. What is their view in life? My happiness depends upon my Paristhiti. Paristhiti means my circumstances. These circumstances are outside me, very important one. So their view is that my happiness depends upon what are the conditions which are there outside me. The situation, the objects and people which are around me. My happiness depends upon that. So if the outside condition is conducive, then there is happiness. If the person whom I like, I am with that person, then there is happiness. If the person whom I don't like is with me, then there is unhappiness in me. Suppose there is a situation which I want to happen. If that is there, then I am happy. Suppose the situation which I don't want, it is there, then I am unhappy. Suppose there is an object with what I want, and if I get that object from outside, I am happy. Suppose I am not getting a person, situation, object from outside, then I am not happy. So my happiness depends upon what is the condition which is outside. Paristhiti drives the manasthiti. So then what will this kind of people do? Including where we want to keep our house clean, we want to have people whom I like, I want to spend time, because those people, this situation, these objects give me happiness. So what I will try to do? I will enhance the paristhiti. I will go to a situation, I will go to a circumstance which is conducive to my happiness. So these are the people who Gurudev calls as, they are the people who are scientists, inventors. They enhance the economy, they earn a lot of money, so that with money, the outside situation can be enhanced. Very important point. With money, outside situation can be enhanced. This is a very important point. So who are the people who are involved in this? Economists, scientists, politicians, ecology, all this sociology, where outside situation enhancement is their goal. So that is type number 1 people. Second type are called as karmavadis. When the person starts thinking and saying that, okay, outside condition drives my happiness, paristhiti drives my manasthiti. But sometimes I see that whatever is the paristhiti, it gives happiness to different people. So they rise above that, and then they come to one conclusion that my happiness depends upon my actions. If I do certain actions, I will create certain situations for myself, and that will drive my results. So outside conditions are not in my control, but actions are in my control. Karmanyeva adhikaraste. So once this state is realized, then I start focusing on my actions. What am I doing? What am I talking? What am I executing? So I start focusing on efficiency, effectivity of my action. Because my happiness depends upon my action. Yoga karmasu kaushalam. I start perfecting my action. What is the goal? Make actions effective, efficient, skillful. Then the person starts thinking, okay, but many times my actions are perfect, but I do not get the result what I want. Many times I know that I deserve something, but I do not get it. And many times I feel that I don't deserve all these things, but I am getting it. Why? So then we come to the third Vadis. The third Vadis are Ishwar or Kripa Vadis. Ishwar Kripa Vadis, their knowledge, belief, value system is what? My happiness depends upon God, because God is karma phaladata. Result is given by God. Do your actions sincerely, leave the results to God. God gives different paristhithis before us to deal. Giving this paristhiti, I will have to do my actions, and then God will take care of that. And then God will take care of my happiness. So I surrender to God. So my happiness depends upon God. So now we saw my happiness depends upon paristhiti. My happiness depends upon my karma. My happiness depends upon God. So here the goal will be puja, japa, rituals, visit temple, please God, so that God will create happiness for me. At the same time, I am doing my actions effectively. But there is one more element added. And that's the reason in the second category, many people come who do not believe in God, but they are following the basic principle that I do my karma, do good, be good. Why do you want God in between? But after some thinking, I realized that the results are not in my control. Action is in my control. So there the concept of grace comes. That is, there the concept of divinity comes. I realize that my death, my birth is not in my control. My relationships where I take birth, those are not my control. And many things, I start thinking that many things are not in my control. And there must be some entity who would be controlling this. Then the fourth comes an Atma or Jnanavadis. Here, my happiness depends upon knowing my real self. Why do I want to know my real self? Because I have learned from the Shastra that real happiness, permanent, unbroken happiness is located not in the world, but it is located in myself. That can also be considered by Ishwarvadis if they understand and read the scriptures in detail, that my happiness is located in God. So I seek God. That becomes almost like Atma and Jnanavadis. But suppose I want something from God, then it becomes Ishwar and Kripavadis. So I seek self-knowledge, who I am in reality and who I am not. So what is the goal? I do Shravan, Manan, Nididhyasam of Bhagavad Gita, Upanishad, Brahma Sutra, because this topic deal with Brahma Vidya. Aham Brahmasmi, my self and Brahman both are same. And then the goal for them is to realize and abide in it. What is the conclusion of this topic? What we have taken of four Vadis, four views, that my happiness depends upon my view. Now we have got one more thing. And this view is the knowledge. What is the knowledge I have gathered? How much I have thought about it? So now this gives us very clear view of how people live in this world. Everyone seeks happiness, but their happiness seeking points are different. First, happiness depends upon the world. Second, happiness depends upon the karma. Third, happiness depends upon upon God. And fourth, happiness depends upon my own self. And once the person realizes, then Jiva, Jagat, Jagadishwara all become one only. So now the topic comes that, okay, everything depends upon knowledge. View also is knowledge. But what is knowledge? How knowledge is formed? What is valid knowledge? If knowledge is constantly changing, last time I think Savita was asking that if knowledge is constantly changing, then how can we say that this is the real valid knowledge? And how this knowledge is formed, and when can we say that I am having this knowledge? So very important pointers. This kind of questions, if I want to, those who are more interested to seek this kind of in detail, this kind of topic, then this topic is called as epistemology. In the Western philosophy, this is called as epistemology. What are the questions they ask? What is knowledge? How knowledge is formed? What factors are responsible for creating this knowledge? What are the valid means of knowledge? That is a topic what we are going to discuss. What can be called as valid knowledge? What is the nature of knowledge? How do we know that we know? That is very important. How do we know that we know? So now we are going to take up the most important topic, that is how knowledge is formed and what are the factors. And in that we will see where this Praman is coming, how important this Praman becomes. Because all my happiness will depend upon my knowledge. And then we are going to see that my knowledge depends upon what Praman I am using. So Praman Vichar becomes very, very important topic for us, because all my success, all my happiness depends upon my knowledge, and my knowledge depends upon what is the means I am using to gather this knowledge. So means becomes very, very important. If the means are faulty, knowledge is faulty. If the means are right, knowledge is right. So we should see the importance and the sequence and the connection between these three. My happiness, my knowledge, and my means through which I am collecting, gathering this particular knowledge. So what are the three prerequisites for knowledge to happen? Now we are coming to our main topic. What do we consider as knowledge? What are the prerequisites for knowledge to happen inside me? So, three prerequisites are required for any knowledge to take place. What are the three prerequisites? First of all, there must be pramata, that is called as the knower, experiencer. Knowledge, very important pointer. Knowledge arises in the pramata. Pramata is the ashray of prama. Prama is the knowledge. So what are the three factors? Pramata is the first one. There has to be a knower. Suppose the knower itself is absent and there is an object and there is a means, then the knowledge will not take place. Either of the three is missing, knowledge will not happen. Now this part, what we are discussing, I have to listen very attentively, not tentatively. So let us take a deep breath. And suppose my mind is going here and there in WhatsApp and I'm doing many things here and there, I must focus on this particular portion, because this is a key of what we are going to discuss further. And if we remember, the purpose of taking this topic, Praman Vichar, now, as we discussed that we are doing the 12th chapter of Bhagavad Gita summary. After 12th chapter, 13th chapter is there, and the name of that 13th chapter is the distinction between the knower and the known. Kshetra Kshetrajna Vibhaga Yoga. So to understand that chapter and enjoy that chapter, we are taking this topic so that our understanding of that chapter becomes more clearer to us. And this is also very interesting pointer to ask. Sit quietly, close eyes, and that's what is the validity of my knowledge? How the valid knowledge is happening? Who is the knower? So pramata is the knower. The second prerequisite required is praman. That is what is our topic is pramana vichar, valid means of knowledge. And the third is prameya, object of knowledge. This object can be body, object can be mind, object can be intellect, object is world, object is self, object is God. These are the four possibilities. So there has to be three things: experiencer, experiencing, process, and experienced in Gurudev's word. For any experience to happen. Pramata, Pramana, and Prameya in Sanskrit. We are going to see the definition of each in Sanskrit and go further. But let us understand the significance of how knowledge takes place and what are the interesting factors when knowledge happens inside us. And then we have so much on confidence on our knowledge without verifying whether that is valid or no. And then what happens is the fourth factor, that is the prama. So now there are four words we must remember: pramata, praman, prameya, and prama. Prama is called as knowledge. Now very important point is coming. We have to pay great attention here, because this knowledge, what we are saying, that how this knowledge is formed. This knowledge is formed, what we are discussing in this world is vritti based, thought based. Now let us take an example. Right now, you are sitting on a chair or sitting on a bed. How do I know that I am sitting on the bed or sitting on a chair? Because that touch is happening to our body, and that touch is creating a thought. This is very important. There are two stages are happening. There is a perception and there is a conception. Without the experience of that sense object to the senses, knowledge cannot happen. And then there has to be a thought creation. If there is no thought creation, that chair, table, mobile phone, then it will not be called as knowledge. So all our knowledge, what we call as knowledge, is vritti janya. Vritti is thought. Very important point. And that's the reason in Patanjali Yoga Sutra, the nirvana is called as chitta vritti nirodha. In Upadesha, Ramana Maharshi says, Mano Nasha, no thought. In Gurudev's word, the final realization is vasana-lessness, leading to desirelessness, leading to thoughtlessness, leading to actionlessness, not no action. This is the definition of realization, enlightenment. And then Jnaneshwar Maharaj says in one of his Abhanga, Vrittichi nivrutti apana sakat. Vritti. So all our knowledge is thought based. The thought appears in our mind or intellect, whatever we call as that entity, that is then we call as knowledge has happened. Knowledge of the chair, knowledge of the mobile phone, knowledge of the screen, knowledge of what I am saying now, there is a thought appearing. If there is no thought appearance, no knowledge formation, we can say has happened. It happens in our day-to-day life many times. The perception happens, but knowledge doesn't happen. What are the one or two examples in common life we can take? Many times we are so engrossed in our thought when we are walking, especially when we are going for exam. Suppose I am going for an exam. I do not see the vehicle coming. There is an elephant which has crossed the road, but the elephant has come on my eyes. The image would have formed or something, but I do not have that thought formation and somebody, did you see the elephant? No, I didn't see the elephant also. Because my thought formation has not happened, the mind is engrossed into something else. Then second example in our day-to-day life. Now now we are discussing very subtle topic, so we should not get into gender discussion and all. Sometimes one spouse is sitting outside reading something, and wife from inside, and husband is sitting. Let us take husband and wife. And the wife says that, do you want this? Can I bring this? What is happening? And the husband is so engrossed in reading some newspaper or some more. You can exchange the roles. The sound has come, but there is no thought formation, and says, what did you say? No, I didn't hear only. So hearing has happened, the sound has fallen, but the thought is not been created. So now we have to distinguish between two things: perception and conception. This is the main point in Western philosophy they talk about. Percept and concept. This is where the knowledge formation happens. So we will see this. So yes, we have to Remember what we are discussing, because on this basis we are going to see the 8 pramanas. The first praman what we are going to see is pratyaksha praman, and then we are going to see the inference praman, the anumana praman. But we have to hold on to it, but we have to understand the concept what we are discussing. So prama, knowledge, vritti based. So what are the 3 states of knowledge possibilities when these 3 comes together? 3 possibilities are there. Prama, where the knowledge is clear and measurable, when what we are writing is a definition of knowledge. When the knowledge is clear and measurable and it is right with conviction, such knowledge has no room for any doubt. Let us take a simple example. I see a sunflower in sunlight. There is no doubt about it. That way I must be able to see Atma like a avla on my hand. That way I must be able to see Atma like Ashwatha flower on my palm. So clearly. That way I must be able to see Kali Mata as I am seeing a person. No doubt about it. So Prama, where the knowledge is clear, measurable, right with conviction, there is no room for any doubt later on. Last time one question was asked that how do we know that this is a right knowledge? We are going to come to that. There are 4 conditions required to be met to be considered as valid and right knowledge. If these 4 conditions are not meeting, that knowledge is not considered as right. And when we discuss those 4 conditions, we will realize that most of our knowledge is actually not right knowledge. Most of our knowledge, except one knowledge, and that is about something that is changeless, something that is beginningless, something that is endless. We can have the right knowledge. That we will discuss in detail. The second condition, what is possible here? Brahma, which is where the knowledge is vague, not very clear, incomplete, faulty, wrong. What is the example? Seeing, I see rope in a dim light. Then I think, oh, it is not a rope, it is a snake. Then that is called as Brahma. So first is Prama, then is Brahma, and the third is Ama, where no knowledge happens. There is only blankness. I go in a room and suppose there is some rope I have to pick up. I don't see rope only because it is completely dark. Same thing happens when we are listening to such kind of lectures many times. Oh, I understood. Knowledge happened. Oh, no, I understood, but there is a doubt. Brahma happened. No, I didn't understand anything. Ama happened. Bumper gaya. People say, no, everything went on over my head. Ama. No, I understood something, but I didn't understand completely. Brahma. And then Prama means clear, measurable, right knowledge with conviction. There is not even 0.00001% doubt. What is that knowledge where I have 0 doubt? Only one. Nisargadatta Maharaj says there is only one statement you can make in this way, and that statement is our window, gateway for realization, and that is I am. Aham asmi, I am. For that there is no doubt. It is very clear. It is measurable. I don't have to refer to God, scriptures, or any other person to know that I am. So that knowledge is definite. So now, how much time is there? 5-6 minutes are there. Now let us take a deep breath. And we'll just see what is the question and what is the point, what has been discussed in 13th chapter. After Bhakti Yoga, the 13th chapter, Bhagavan says that Kshetra Kshetrajna Vibhaga Yoga. Kshetra means field of knowledge and Kshetrajna means knower, the knower and the known. Now Bhagavan says that the knower and known are different. Then immediately I understand, okay, I am the knower and the world is the known. But in the second verse, immediately Bhagavan says that I am the Pramata. If I am the Pramata, Bhagavan says that who am I? So we are going to discuss in detail in 13th chapter because Bhagavan suddenly confuses us by saying that I am the knower. But first of all, we must know the distinction between the knower and the known. So let us take an example. So now I have to pay attention for next 5 minutes. Now let us start with a very simple example. Right now, if you are sitting before the telephone, mobile phone or laptop, now we have to pay attention on what we are discussing in sequence, knower and the known. So the laptop, let us say laptop, the laptop is the known and the eyes are the knower. So stage number 1 is very clear, no doubt in it. Senses are the pramata and the objects of the world are prameya, object. Okay, step 1 very clear, no doubt, because I can see the laptop. Suppose I am able to taste something, then my tongue becomes the pramata and that dosa, filter coffee becomes the prameya. Suppose I am smelling something, then the nose becomes the pramata, then that rose smell becomes the prameya. Skin becomes the pramata, the touch, what I am getting of the bed or the chair becomes the prameya. So this way, this step number 1 is very clear. Second, but something happens in my eyes. Do I know? Yes, I know it. I know that I am blinking. I know my eyes are watering. So the pramata, which was the eye of the object, that also now becomes the prameya, and the pramata or the knower of the eyes becomes the mind. So now laptop, step number 1, laptop and eyes. Step number 2, eyes and mind. The mind is the knower of the eyes, because otherwise I wouldn't know that the eye is paining, my eye is not paining, my skin is itching, my tongue has burned. If I eat that pan and if there is more tuna in it, the tongue after for 1 or 2 days cannot taste anything. So step number 2 clear, mind and the senses. This mind is the pramata, the senses becomes the prameya. Now what is happening in the mind also, I can know that I am sad, I know that I am angry, I know that I am peaceful, I know that I am irritated, I know that I am frustrated, I know that I having that love emotion. So the intellect knows the mind. The intellect is observe the mind. So the mind becomes the prameya, the intellect becomes the pramata. Very clear, no problem. So I can know my thoughts also. Right now I'm having many thoughts. Right now I'm having less thoughts. Suppose I sit for meditation, I know my mind is going here and there. There are many thoughts coming when I do japa. Who knows? Now we are coming to the subtler points. Now we have to pay attention. Who knows the thoughts? We all know this is our day-to-day experience. It is not some rocket science. Many people have told me that when I start doing japa, so many thoughts come. When I'm sitting for meditation, so many thoughts come. Now we are asking, who is the pramata of those thoughts? Because we are interested in knowing the knower. So the I notion, ego is the knower. The I notion, the reflected consciousness, there are many, many words to it. The I notion, ego is the knower of the intellect. So this is the pramata, which in the 13th chapter, Bhagavan says, it knows the world. But then in the second verse, Bhagavan says that I am the pramata. Now that is where we have to now think that how can there be two knowers? If Bhagavan is the knower, then Bhagavan will become limited. Bhagavan will become jiva. So now, as we discussed that this topic is very important to understand the pramata, pramana and prameya, because this 13th chapter, Bhagavan gives lot of jerks in Bhagavad Gita. Suddenly one verse, suddenly another verse will come. And 13th chapter is considered to be klishta, but according to me, it is the most interesting chapter. Suppose we know the foundations of what Bhagwan is talking about. So, main topic, what we have to discuss today, and after this session, we have to meditate upon is the knower and the known on these 5 stages, and this will become our meditation for this week. How we have to meditate? Number 1, that okay, I am seeing this chair. So chair is the prameya, I am the knower. Chair is known, the eyes are the knower. Okay, the eyes are also known to me that I am closing my eyes. So the eyes becomes the known, my mind is the knower. I can know my eyes whether they are closed or open. Okay. Now I am feeling bored about it. So I know the boredom. So the intellect knows this boring feeling. So the intellect is the knower, the mind is the known. But who is knowing that I am feeling bored and I must not be bored? So that is the I notion. That is the ego. That is the reflected consciousness. But I know that I am. So there is one more pramata, what Bhagavan is talking in 13th chapter, Kshetra Kshetrajna Yoga. That pramata I am, Bhagavan is saying, that is the illuminator. That is the real I. That is what in Upadeshar, Bhagavan Ramana Maharshi says that when this I falls, the other I emerges. So there are 2 pramatas. One is false, one is real. So let us see this, what I have written down. Objects are known by the senses. Senses are known by the mind. The mind is known by the intellect. The intellect is known by pramata 2, we can say. What is that pramata 2? Ego. I notion, reflected consciousness, that we will see when we discuss 13th chapter. And the reflected conscious is known by the pramata 1. That is the Sat Chit Anand. Pure existence, pure consciousness, infinite bliss. That is the illuminator. So we can say one is the knower, one is the illuminator. And that is the reason this Pramana Vichar becomes very important, because we are distinguishing between the knower and the known. Whatever I can know, I cannot be that. That must be my meditation for this week. Now we are going to see a lot of interesting definitions of Pramata 1, that why after knowing that I am Satchitananda Swarup, I am not able to experience it. Yeah, my ignorance is not there. Right now I know that I am not Jiva, but I am Satchitananda Swarup. That I know since last 15-20 years. That my real nature is Satchitananda, but I am not able to experience it. Why? Because there is a challenge in Pramata, there is challenge in Pramana, and my Prameya, I need to know the Lakshana of it clearly. Then it becomes Lakshana Pramanabhyam Vastu Siddhi. So realization just by thinking, direct means. I hope you are enjoying. I hope that it is very interesting topic. For me, it is extremely interesting because here and now I can just feel it. Here and now I can experience God. I have to just withdraw my mind from the objects to the senses, from senses to the mind, from mind to the intellect, and then I know it. But I know that I am. So that knower, that illuminator of that I am. Because all of you cannot deny this, because you will say that, yes, I know that I am. So the knowledge of I am is prior to I am. And that knowledge is pure consciousness, pure existence, infinite bliss. That is Satchitananda Swarup. Oh, it is that easy. Yes, it is that easy. We are making this knowledge so complicated and so this thing that it will take Aneka Janma Samprapta. So we don't have to say that, no, it is very difficult, because here and now it is available with us to experience. God is here and now available. It is not in future. It is not in past. Here and now. Om Purnamada Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnameva Vashishyate Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Harihi Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Harihi Om.